What's up guys, and welcome back to another video. Today's video we're talking a preview time for Wales versus England taking place this weekend as we hit round 3 of the Guinness Six Nations. An exciting game to look forward to at the Principality Stadium. Wales currently undefeated, wanting to continue that winning streak. England looking to redeem themselves after that first week loss to Scotland, which shook the world. Now we've got a cracking fixture for us to look at. Obviously England's been in the media quite negatively. There's been questions of whether Eddie Jones should be sacked or not, whether Owen Farrell should be dropped or not. But one thing's for sure, they're sticking to their guns and they're sticking to what they have created and what they've built over the past few years. And Owen Farrell will lead his team this weekend against a feisty Welsh side. Now both teams have named their squads. Wales have made 5 changes into their squad. Obviously the majority of the changes come back from the injuries that they've had. Fit again, Lions duo Jonathan Davies and George North are paired back together. Probably one of the powerful centre combinations you could ask for. Try-ace Josh Adams returns to the wing, and young Kieran Hardy is selected at scrum half ahead of Gareth Davies. Players that are missing out this weekend are Lee Halfpenny, Owen Watkin, Nick Tompkins, Gareth Davies and Aaron Ringwright. It's going to be an interesting tournament. It's going to be an interesting game. Wales have a lot on the line. Just last year we couldn't understand why Wales' form was so poor, but then they started bouncing back. They made history and started proving the critics wrong. You know, I think we wrote off Wales before this tournament even started, and man have they clapped us under the ground. And good for Wales. I couldn't be happier for them. I love watching teams come back from a very tough situation and proving the world wrong and silencing the critics. This weekend's not going to be an easy game. It's going to be a tough one. England are going to come out fighting. They're going to want redemption. They've only played Italy and they've only played Scotland. Italy's win, although it was a lot of points, that first half, England's win over Italy was a lot of points, but although first half was not a pretty one for the English, as Italy got some good points, put the pressure on. But because unfortunately it's Italy, they tire out at the end, and England managed to get it. However, they allowed Italy to score the most points that they've scored since I think 2008 or 2009. So it's really motivating stuff for Wales as they prepare for this one. But Eddie Jones is a clever man. He's an experienced coach who's been through a lot, and he will have a lot up his sleeve of how he's going to approach this game. He knows the media is negative. He knows people are starting to write them off. But personally, I think Eddie Jones feeds off negative media. It excites him, it motivates him, it gets him angry, it gets him ready. But Coach Wayne has been smart in his tactics in 2021. Wales have been a totally different team. Albeit Scotland games wasn't the prettiest, but it was still a fantastic win. I mean, Zammit just took the world by storm. What's he going to do this weekend? It's going to be exciting to watch. England have made a few changes themselves. Hooker Jamie George will return for England's starting 11 against obviously Wales. There are 2 changes from the side that beat Italy. George in for Luke Cowan-Dickey, and flanker Mark Wilson replacing injured Courtney Laws. Fullback Elliot Daly will win his 50th cap, as George Ford, Owen Farrell, Henry Slade continue the middle field. It's going to be a cracking game. There are big names in both teams. There are experienced blokes in both teams. George Ford has been the talk of the town as flying for England. How's he going to adapt to the pressure? What's he going to put on? How's he going to excite us? Ben Young's flipping good experience scrum half. Can control the game, can motivate, can excite teams. What's he going to do something different for this English squad? Big Billy Vunipola. How's he going to handle it? Big hard hitting defence. I think the main thing for England going into this one is discipline. Their discipline needs to be sharp. And if they're not sharp, they're going to get caught out. If we look at some of the guys to look out for, Liam Williams obviously for Wales, Ken Owens, experienced man. Alan Jones leading as usual. Again, more experience there. But the guys who I'm most excited is George North and Jonathan Davies, two of the best centre pairings in the world right now. Absolutely incredible rugby players, and I think they're going to be a massive excitement as we approach this game. There's a lot to look forward to. There's a lot on the line. So far, both teams have scored very similar points. Wales have scored a total of 46 points, whereas England has scored a total of 47 points. 6 tries apiece. Interesting. Conversions 2-4 to England. Missed conversions 4-2 to Wales. Penalties 4-3 kicked over. Interesting stuff here. Tackles made, or attempted tackles, are 486 to Wales, 305 to England. 433 tackles made, 261 tackles made, and 433 was to Wales. So interesting stuff. It's going to be a cracking game. Both teams have stolen one line out apiece in the Six Nations tournament, and it's going to be a cracking one. Last time these two teams met, England won by 3 points, 7th of March of 2020. Although it was a bad time for Wales, they were definitely close, and they fought hard and they showed passion. So what are they going to do different? How are they going to surprise England? Attack and finish off. Defend, be disciplined. For me, out of this whole game, discipline's a key, especially for England. I mean, Wales are almost on a hat-trick for red cards against them. Will we see another red card for England? Anything can happen. It is Six Nations after all. Last time Wales played in Six Nations, the last 3 games, obviously Scotland 24-25. Victory 1 point, 21-16 over Ireland. That was a big one for them. 10-14 over Scotland back in 2020 at the end of October. That was a loss to Wales, so that continued. 41-18 win for England, 6-11 defeat for England, and then a 5-34 on the 31st of October. These are obviously last Six Nations contests. So the points are close. Everything's close if we look at the stats. Who is going to win this humdinger of a contest? Both teams are going to go out fighting. I feel we're going to get a lot of kicks. I feel we're going to get a lot of hard tackles, and I feel it's going to get tiring. But what I really do hope, for the sake of all things good in rugby, is that we see tries. Good, skillful tries. I don't want to see ping pong like what we've seen before. When France played Scotland, it was just, France and Ireland, it was just kicking back, forth. I want England, I want Wales to attack. Johnny May, what's he going to do differently? What are these guys going to do to excite us? That's the question. Prediction wise, it's a tough one to predict. It is a tough one to predict. My head kind of wants to go towards England because I think they need it, but I'm going to go with my heart on this one. And I'm going to go Wales to win by 3 points over England at the Principality Stadium in Wales. It's going to be a cracking game, and we will be streaming it. So make sure you subscribe and join me. It's going to be a cracking weekend. That's going to do it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you legends real soon for another one. Stay safe and never give up. Cheers.